A warm welcome to our poetry recital in celebration of International Women's Day. We've chosen a wide range of female poets from several different countries and cultures, which connect with our own wonderfully international students. We're all learning and discovering poetry from different lands and different generations. We hear the voice of female poets spanning 2 centuries and taste the beauty of Korean, Swedish, Japanese, French, Chinese and English, and also have the joy of hearing 2 of our singers reading their own poems. We've married and interspersed these readings with compositions by some of our current and recent composition students and RCM alumni Elizabeth Maconchy and our own wonderful Professor Walle. Hope is our theme, and I'll leave you with the wise words of Maya Angelou, which we can relate to art in every form. Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away.
Come to me in the silence of the night. Come in the speaking silence of a dream. Come with soft, rounded cheeks and eyes as bright as sunlight on a stream. Come back in tears. Oh, memory, hope, love of finished years. Oh, dream, how sweet, too bitter sweet, whose wakening should have been in paradise, where souls brimful of love abide and meet, where thirsting, longing eyes watch the slow door, that opening, letting in, lets out no more. Yet come to me in dreams, that I may live my very life, though cold in death. Come back to me in dreams, that I may give pulse for pulse, breath for breath. Speak low, lean low. As long ago, my love, how long ago?
The poem begins with a quote from Marbott's Australia, a Geography. These settings of slow landscape change are characterised by the survival of forms inherited from the past. She's learning about the desert, where things are not as flat as they seem. She needs the plain, the wind, scrub. No longer believes mirages on straight, never-ending roads. Wants nothing to do with rain, not even a sudden flash flood. But climbing dunes reworked by wind, she finds traces of running water, fresh scouring of ground, rilled surfaces, ephemeral stream channels. She wants to learn to live without comfort or knowledge of the future. Each day its own, stretched out like any other. There's only that long horizon. She wants that secret to stay there. She's like plants at ground level, surviving as seeds through dry periods. Tough outside, while inside she'll grow the grassland of dreams. A wild place of her own, until rain memory tracks her waking. She stumbles out by the highway into a new mirage. Oasis. That road where past and future meet only at the horizon. And there's all that walking in between.
봄 일기. 봄에도 바람의 맛은 매일 다르듯이 매일 사는 내 마음의 빛도 조금씩 다르지만 쉼없이 노래했었지. 쑥처럼 흔하게 돋아나는 일상의 근심 중에도 희망의 향기로운 들꽃이 마음속 숨어 피는 기쁨을 언제나 신선한 설레임으로 사랑하는 일을 맞듯이 매일의 문을 열면 안으로 조용히 빛이 터지는 소리. 봄을 살기 위하여 내가 열리는 소리.
Hope was but a timid friend. She sat without the grated den, watching how my fate would tend. Even as selfish-hearted men, she was cruel in her fear. Through the bars, one dreary day, I looked out to see her there, and she turned her face away. Like a false guard, false watchkeeping still in strife. She whispered peace. She would sing while I was weeping. If I listened, she would cease. False she was, and unrelenting. When my last joys strewed the ground, even sorrow saw, repenting those sad relics scattered round. Hope, whose whisper would have given balm to all my frenzied pain, stretched her wings, soared to heaven, went, and ne'er returned again.
I walk through winter's city. My footsteps stain the snow. The darkness shuts like curtains. It's later than I know. Dark is a heart that's breaking. Dark is a dream you lose. Dark is a pounding headache that makes the world a maze. And then a speck of something. I see a candle flame, a tiny seed that flickers. I hear hope say my name. The seed becomes a golden flower of pouring light, a gift. I need you to believe, Hope says. It's you makes me exist. I feel bright feathers lifting. I hear a tiger's roar. I've taken many forms, Hope says. Changing is what I'm for. At Christmas time I settle into the shape of a tree, alive, sharp, resin rising, hope shines and darkness flees. And I can see a future as clocks chime their late hour. For hope will be our present, and hope will give us power.
"沿着长长的走廊，我走下去。呵，迎面是刺眼的窗子，两边是反光的墙壁。阳光，我和阳光站在一起。呵，阳光原来这样强烈，暖的人凝住了脚步，亮的人憋住了呼吸，所有的光都在这里集聚。我不知道还有什么存在，只有我靠着阳光站了10秒钟。10秒，有时会长于1个世纪的1/4。终于，我冲下楼梯，推开门，奔走在春天的阳光里。
Ja, visst gör det ont när knoppar brister. Varför skulle annars våren tveka? Varför skulle all vår heta längtan bindas i det frusna bitterbleka? Höljet var ju knoppen hela vintern. Vad är det för nytt som tär och spränger? Ja, visst gör det ont när knoppar brister. Ont för det som växer och det som stänger. Ja, nog är det svårt när droppar faller. Skälvande av ängslan, tungt det hänger. Klamrar sig vid kvisten, sväller, glider. Tyngden drar dem nedåt, hur det klänger. Svårt att vara oviss, rädd och delad. Svårt att känna djupet, dra och kalla. Ändå sitta kvar och bara darra. Svårt att vilja stanna och vilja falla. Då, när det är värst och inget hjälper, brister som i jubelträdets knoppar. Då, när ingen rädsla längre håller, faller i ett glitter kvistens droppar. Glömmer att det skrämdes av det nya. Glömmer att det ängslades för färden. Känner en sekund sin största trygghet. Vilar i den tillit som skapar världen.
Like a deep blue wave of passion you shore into the room where I sit waiting quietly, open booked. We have moved through days, loss, pain to hold this moment, this picture postcard seascape of gentle harbouring. You say, I knew you were here, I could smell you. And effortlessly I sway to seal my fate. You taste of oceans, avenues of grassy dunes. Like a magician, you pluck a tiny pebble from my hair. Ancient survivor, sun-kissed on this summer afternoon. Unconditionally, I step out of my dress and into your dream.
A eulogy. For everyone poked so full of holes, their own voice passes through them, history escaping the body in a series of echoes. For everyone distilled into color of skin, choice of pronoun, place of origin, length of hair, years, skirt, name, limbs, medical record. For everyone made to believe that the petals of persecution blossomed from the buds of their own paranoia. For everyone passed over in favor of a name that seemed easier to pronounce, was less of an assault to someone else's comfort. For everyone accused of prolonged adolescence, scars on their arms marking time like a calendar, body taking itself into its own hands. For everyone blamed for the stare, grope, catcall, assault that cut like glass into flesh as if they had asked to be broken. For everyone deceived into dreaming. Everyone who left home and family to provide for home and family, returning with nothing. For everyone pumped so full of doctrine, the guilt which ate into their bones made them believe breaking them was the only way out.
Second souffle, lueur d'espoir. De cette même mère, nous sommes les enfants. Enveloppe mouvante, moteur de notre temps. L'opinel dans le cœur à réduire à néant, second souffle. Rappelons-nous d'être patients, car ça se danse, ça s'enlace, ça s'élance, car ça se consume, se consomme, ça se pense, car ça s'embrase, s'éternise, car ça se contraste, se démasse, se cicatrise, car ça se pense, ça s'exprime, car ça se saigne, ça saigne, ça se sublime, car ça se souffle, se souffre, ça se précise, car ça pénètre, ça se pénètre, se pérennise. Organique valse des cœurs et des corps au décor calciné, dans une introspection communicative aux rires étoilés. Il est l'heure de guérir. Inspire. Expire. Revitalise. Sérénité.
If only I'd never said to Gudrun that Harald couldn't stand liver. I didn't think about it at all. It just slipped right out of my mouth when we talked about how hard it is to think of something when your husband is so picky. And I could have bitten my tongue right off when I realized that of course we had liver last time we had dinner at their place. I'm sure she thinks I said that just to insult her. She certainly didn't seem upset at all when she left. On the contrary, she said, "Tell Harold and the kids I said hi, and we'll call you about going to that show." But she could still be mad. Maybe just doesn't want to show it. And now she definitely won't call like she promised. Which reminds me that it's been a long time since I heard from Lise. I suppose I did sound a bit strange last time she called, but that was because I was sitting wondering if Nina had told Jørn and Birte what I said about their new rug, that Grey was so practical. As if I were hinting that their place was filthy, or that the old rug wasn't practical, or that the new one wasn't pretty, since I couldn't think of anything positive to say about it other than that Grey was practical. And I didn't mean it like that. I think it's a really nice rug. But as a housewife, of course you consider practicality a lot. I must remember to say something nice about their rug next time we're together with them. If we do ever see them again. But maybe I should call Gudrun and say sorry about that with the liver. Maybe that's a bit too dumb to call just for that. But I could call about something else and then coincidentally mention that, by the way, Harold thought that liver was really great when it was prepared that way in the oven with an incredible sauce. But maybe she's already decided to just forget about it. And then she might really get mad if I keep bringing it back up. It could also be that she doesn't know if she can allow herself to feel insulted. Maybe she's unsure whether I even said liver at all, and so there's no reason to come right out and call and confirm it. And finally, it could very well be that she didn't notice it at all. It's probably best to act like nothing happened. And to be sure, to think more carefully in the future when I'm talking with people. If I keep on being so dumb, we'll end up not having any friends.
青いお空の底深く、海の小石のそのように、夜が来るまで沈んでる。昼の星は目に見えぬ。見えぬけれどもあるんだよ。見えぬものでもあるんだよ。散ってすがれたタンポポの河原の隙に黙って春の来るまで隠れてる。強いその根は目に見えぬ。見えぬけれどもあるんだよ。見えぬものでもあるんだよ。
At lunchtime, I bought a huge orange. The size of it made us all laugh. I peeled it and shared it with Robert and Dave. They got quarters and I had a half. And that orange, it made me so happy, as ordinary things often do just lately. The shopping, a walk in the park. This is peace and contentment. It's new. The rest of the day was quite easy. I did all the jobs on my list and enjoyed them and had some time over. I love you. I'm glad I exist.
Most days feel the same. Down to the minute. Wake up, log on, push through existence. And no matter what I do, scream, bang, shout, or pray, nothing seems to change. Pale reality, shapeless time, nights spent alone, and mornings flashing by. I have nowhere to go, and no one to see. And yet, somehow, there is still a light in me. Someone hoping, living off dreams, believing even though they cannot see. And despite all the pain, the grief, the guilt, the never-ending days, I want to be, to feel alive in all the small things. And so I'll sing my songs and say my prayers until this twilight dawns a new day.
"Will you walk into my parlour?" said a spider to a fly. "'Tis the prettiest little parlour that ever you did spy. The way into my parlour is up a winding stair, and I have many pretty things to show you when you are there." "Oh, no, no," said the little fly, "to ask me is in vain, for who goes up your winding stair can ne'er come down again. I'm sure you must be weary from soaring up so high. Will you rest upon my little bed?" said the spider to the fly. "There are pretty curtains drawn around, the sheets are fine and thin, and if you like to rest a while, I'll snugly tuck you in." "Oh, no, no," said the little fly, "for I've often heard it said, they never, never wake again who sleep upon your bed." Said the cunning spider to the fly, "Dear friend, what can I do to prove the warm affection that I've always felt for you? I have within my pantry good store of all that's nice. I'm sure you're very welcome. Would you please to take a slice?" "Oh, no, no," said the little fly. "Kind sir, that cannot be, for I've heard what's in your pantry, and I do not wish to see." "Sweet creature," said the spider, "you're witty and you're wise. How handsome are your gauzy wings! How brilliant are your eyes! I have a little looking-glass upon my parlour shelf. If you'll step in one moment, dear, you shall behold yourself." "I thank you, gentle sir," she said, "for what you're pleased to say, and bidding you good morning, now I'll call another day." The spider turned him round about and went into his den, for well he knew the silly fly would soon come back again. So he wove a subtle web in a little corner sly, and set his table ready to dine upon the fly. Then he went out to his door again, and merrily did sing, "Come hither, hither, pretty fly, with pearl and silver wing. Your robes are green and purple, there's a crest upon your head, your eyes are like the diamond bright, but mine are dull as lead. Alas, alas, how very soon this silly little fly, hearing his wily, flattering words, came slowly flitting by. With buzzing wings she hung aloft, then near and nearer drew, thinking only of her brilliant eyes and green and purple hue, thinking only of her crested head. Poor foolish thing! At last, up jumped the cunning spider and fiercely held her fast. He dragged her up his winding stair into his dismal den within his little parlour, but she ne'er came out again. And now, dear little children, who may this story read, to silly, idle, flattering words, I pray you ne'er give heed. Unto an evil counsellor, close heart and ear and eye, and learn a lesson from this tale of the spider and the fly.